I have a confession to make. It's time I'm honest with you. And myself, I guess. I've been diagnosed with TDS. No, not that one. Well, maybe that one. But my version is much more expensive to maintain. I have total disconnection syndrome. I'm so deranged that I actually left the circus behind, moved to an island, and found peace here while the rest of the world is fighting about the ringmaster. If you've been told you're crazy for wanting a plan B, this video is your support group. Stick around. This might be the answer that you've been looking for. Now, I'm Island Punk. Welcome back to GenX-Xpat. For those new to the channel, I'm a 58-year-old retired teacher, and I left the U.S. after the election of President Chucky. I traded my classroom and a mortgage for a scooter and a tortoise-shelled cat named Twinkle. And I'm living in the middle of the Indian Ocean on a rock, a very nice rock, named Mauritius. So, if this sounds like something that amuses you, like and subscribe. Help me reach that 1 million subscriber mark by the end of the month. Today we're talking about the madness of leaving. Why the people back home think we're deranged, and why from where I'm sitting the big picture view of the madhouse is clearly in focus. I'm here at Monchoisi Beach, actually, somewhere giving you this satirical discussion about TDS and why. The internet loves labels, and if you left because of the Chucky regime and the neighbors probably... The internet loves labels, and if you left already because of the Chucky regime, the neighbors probably labeled you having Trump derangement syndrome. They said you were overreacting. They said it won't be that bad and that you're being an alarmist. And these comments, they haven't aged well, have they? But I'll play along. Let's say I've got TDS. Here's how it might manifest itself if you're an island punk like me. First, I literally reject the breaking news dopamine loop. Snorkeling, reading a book, writing a book, or just popping popcorn and watching the sunset has more urgency than the news cycle. I'm so deranged, I'm more interested in the price of papaya than the latest tweet from that clown. So there's also the currency delusion that I have. I'm so far gone that I look at a $10 latte in the States and think, that's a 3-course meal and a scooter ride where I live. And I can say that I've lost touch with reality, and that might be true, but it might also be true that I've learned to do math. And then there's the Gen X PTSD. We believed a lot of shit. We were told the world was ending in nuclear war, in acid rain, the hole in the ozone layer, and the alien invasion, and the impact of an asteroid. All these things were going to destroy the world. Then we had our homes foreclosed on and banks bailed out. Then, of course, COVID. So my TDS is just a refined version of I've seen the disasters and went through them, and right now I'm kind of grateful for a bowl of rice and clean air and water. So maybe being sane means being terrified. You know why they call us deranged? It's a threat to the script. We're the kids who walked out of school assembly because we realized the school assembly was full of shit, and that somebody was making money off of making this presentation to us. So no sane people back home are working 60 hours a week to rent a life they don't like in a system that views them as data points. And when you say, I'm leaving, you're holding up a mirror. You're showing them that the golden years of retirement might just be a lie. You just keep working. No end in sight. They need to label you TDS and crazy, because if you were sane, that would mean that you're the ones they're the ones who are on a sinking ship, not us. We're leaving the sinking ship. And the system that actually ends up finding happiness isn't within reach where I was at. So there's this loner's advantage to it. We could take this all the way back to that movie, The Outsiders, the Socias and the Greasers. It looks like they're still fighting, right? If they're still fighting over like the same things, the haves and the have-nots. If you have TDS, it just means that you've stopped picking a side in the rumble, and you realize that whether it's Chucky or the next guy, the social identity that they're selling is just a leash. Being an expat is about cutting the leash. It's about being deranged enough to believe that your identity isn't tied to a party, a tax bracket. It's about being an outsider by choice. So yeah, I have TDS. I'm deranged. I'm an island punk living on a rock in the ocean, watching the sunset while the rational world burns itself down on Twitter. Seriously? Honestly? The water here is fine. If you're feeling a little deranged yourself, and if you're looking for a way out or a way to retire without $1 million, or just a way to stop the hot flash of anger when the political news cycle comes on, stick around. Find a way out. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my Substack. I write every day to cultivate, to experience emotional freedom. And if you want to support this deranged retired teacher, buy me a coffee. It keeps the scooter gassed up and the cat fed. Until next time, lead.